1940 में ब्रिटिश इंडियन आर्मी की बलोच रेजिमेंट की 5वीं पलटन ज्वाइन की। हिंदुस्तानी सिपाहियों ने जापानीज का बहुत बहादुरी से मुकाबला किया और उन्हें जापानीज के हवाले कर दिया गया। हिंदुस्तान और अंग्रेजों के बीच एक धागा था, वो टूट गया। गद्दारी की कोई माफी नहीं होगी।
You are charged with Indian Army Act Section 41, waging war against the king.
जब अंग्रेजी अफसरों ने साडी हिफाजत नहीं की, तो वो हमारी वफादारी के हकदार किस तरह हो सकते हैं? अगर जिंदा बचा उसके बाद शादी करोगी मुझसे?
They toil countless hours to make lives convenient for us. They cook, clean our homes, tend to our children and elderly, protect our societies. But all they get in return, abuse, harassment and exploitation.
कई बार खाने को नहीं मिलता था, कई बार हमारे ऊपर मैडम धक्के भी दे देती थी। मेरा बेटा अभी बीमार था, मैडम ने कहा काम पहले करो, बेटा आपका बीमार है, हॉस्पिटलाइज है, मुझे उससे कोई लेना देना नहीं।
They have no leaves, no fixed wages or working hours, no benefits and no legal rights. Governments after governments turning a blind eye to the plight of the domestic helps.
Domestic workers, we have to do a lot of things because they are women particularly. So for them, we have to go as a holistic policy first.
An invisible workforce, the helps are crying out for help. High time India enacts a law to safeguard their interests. Hello and a warm welcome to another edition of Ground Report, your one-stop window for the grassroots stories coming from the remote corners of the country. This program also focuses on issues that are not highlighted very prominently in the mainstream media. Our today's focus is the plight of the domestic helps. These are people who toil for us day and night, from cooking to cleaning to tending children and the elderlies. These are workers who have no rights and privileges. They come down from their villages to the cities in search of livelihood, but are often abused, thrashed, and fall victims to sexual exploitation. And in the absence of a legal framework, these domestic helps are forced to live in pitiable conditions. Pranav Goswami with the top story.
"18 years back, Lolanti came to Delhi from an impoverished village in Jharkhand in search of a job. A distant relative in Delhi got her the job of a domestic help in the national capital, but that was just the beginning of her woes. Lolanti was just 15 when she came to Delhi, but the horrors she had to face then are still fresh in her memory.
काम करते करते हमारे साथ उस टाइम बहुत अत्याचार भी हुआ। कई बार खाने को नहीं मिलता था, कई बार हमारे ऊपर मैडम धक्के भी दे देती थी, कभी तो फर्श पे सर्फ गिरा देती थी, तो हम लोग गिर भी जाते थे।
And there is no dearth of such stories of exploitation.
घरों में काम करती है, तो मैंने घर में काम करती थी, उसने मेरे दो 3 महीने की तनख्वाह रोक रखी थी। इसके बाद मैंने उससे पैसे मांगने गई थी, मेरे साथ उसने अत्याचार कर दिया, कह रही कि तूने मेरी चोरी कर ली। उसके घर में 9 साल हो गए थे मुझे काम करते थे। उसने कॉल करके पुलिस वाली बंद करवा दी, सब कुछ करवा दिया, मेरे साथ मार पिटाई करवा दी है।
Day after day, these domestic helps go through inhuman behavior at the hands of their employers. From physical abuse to working without any offs or leaves and getting their wages deducted for every little or even no fault of theirs, these hapless domestic maids seem to have no way out. There have been even cases of domestic maids being pushed into human trafficking, prostitution and organ business by their employers or placement agencies.
एम्प्लॉयर ये सोचता है कि उसने तो 1 साल का पैसा दे दिया, उसको रखने का पैसा भी दे दिया है, जो कमीशन है वो भी दे दिया, अब वो उसको क्यों फ्री करे। तो इस केस में जब डोमेस्टिक वर्कर घर बात करने की बात करती है, घर जाने की बात करती है, या फिर वो अपना पैसा डिमांड करती है, या फिर ये कहती है कि मुझे 1 हफ्ते में एक छुट्टी चाहिए, मुझे कहीं घूमने जाना है, तो एम्प्लॉयर इन सारी चीज़ों को डिनाई करता है।
The situation is even worse for women workers who spend between 8 to 18 hours a day at their job and are abused and exploited by their employers and placement agencies too.
कोटी में जाते काम करने परेशानी है, वो पैसे नहीं देते, हमारी सैलरी नहीं देते हैं, मांगते हैं तो चिल्लाते हैं।
मेरा बेटा अभी बीमार था, मैडम ने कहा काम पहले करो, बेटा आपका बीमार है, हॉस्पिटलाइज है, मुझे उससे कोई लेना देना नहीं, अगर आपने काम नहीं किया तो मैं आपको 15 से बाहर निकालूंगा।
Women domestic helps are not entitled to sick leave, maternity leave or medical aid. They're often physically and sexually abused at their workplaces. They also become victims to verbal abuse, false allegations of theft, etc. Maids are often not allowed to even use the toilets inside the houses.
कई रेस्क्यू जो हमने करवाए हैं जिसमें वो बच्चे प्लेसमेंट एजेंट के थ्रू आए थे, उन लोगों के केसेस में हमें यही पता दिखा है कि उनकी प्लेसमेंट एजेंसी की तरफ से हमें किसी प्रकार की मदद नहीं मिलती है, या तो वो उनका पैसा निकलवाने के लिए हो या वो किसी प्रकार का एक्सप्लॉयटेशन हो।
As per International Labour Organization, the number of female domestic helps has increased by 70% in the past decade. In India, the number of such domestic helps is over 1 crore. However, their plight and exploitation is a matter of serious concern. With Pranav Goswami, signing off for Ground Report.
The tasks done by the domestic helps have not been recognized as quote-unquote work. These domestic helps continue to struggle for visibility and recognition, despite various laws like the Unorganized Social Security Act, Minimum Wages Act, which have been notified by various states. There still remains a lack of a comprehensive, universally applicable national legislation which can actually guarantee fair terms of employment. Take a look. Toiling for countless number of hours without any basic rights and benefits. This is the story of the Indian domestic workers. Though the Unorganized Workers Social Security Act 2008 covers domestic workers, it's just not enough to improve the working condition of domestic helps. There is no law defining the working hours and minimum wages, maternity benefits, etc. The government now says that it's considering a bill for the domestic help soon.
Domestic workers, we have to do a lot of things because they are women particularly. So for them, we have to go as a holistic policy first, and we have to discussion with the state governments, So that's why the policy is under consideration, and for the social security also under consideration is there.
In 1959, Domestic Workers Bill was presented in Parliament, but it couldn't be passed. The Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplace 2013 Act was passed for protection of women workers from sexual violence. There are a few other laws that can be used to protect domestic workers, like Minimum Wages Law 1948, Workmen's Compensation Act 1923, Interstate Migrant Worksmen Act 1967 and Equal Remuneration Act 1976. But all seem to be on paper because of the lack of effective implementation. Former Labour Minister Oscar Fernandez had even brought up a private member's bill seeking rights for domestic workers, but that too seems to be a forgotten legislation.
Sobbing, cleaning the plates, a limited thing, or to attend to children, kids. So there are various kinds of jobs for the domestic workers. So it's rather difficult to find one solution for the entire lot. So we are discussing this issue during the session and try to find a solution.
States like Maharashtra and Kerala do have laws for the domestic help, as a result of which there is a slight improvement in their lives. In Madhya Pradesh, domestic maids have been given job cards along with support to their children's education and marriage of the girl child. However, no defining change can be expected till there are nationwide laws on the issue.
In the first phase, we are going for construction worker. Second phase, we are going to the Anganwadi workers, Asha workers and midday meal workers. Then we will go to the domestic workers, because we have to make a policy about the total scheme of the unorganized workers.
As per the National Sample Survey Organization, the estimated number of domestic workers in the country was 41.3 lakhs during 2011-12, of which a majority of 27.9 lakhs were women. Till the time an umbrella legislation is not formed, lives of this section of the society will remain a vicious cycle. With Pranav Goswami signing off for Ground Report. If you look at the Indian mindset, it refuses to treat home as a workplace and therefore it cannot be regulated, it cannot be monitored. But the status of the domestic workers in this case of a mindset remains quite ambiguous. We generally ask, do we treat domestic helps as workers or just helps? Take a look at this report. Millions of maids working in the middle-class Indian homes form a part of an informal, invisible workforce, abused and exploited to the fullest. At the center of the controversy is a huge confusion on the status of the domestic helps. Do we call her a help or do we call her a servant? This definition is still not clear on the papers.
वर्कर की परिभाषा के तहत वर्कर को मिलने वाले सब प्रकार की सुविधा, सुरक्षा वो इनको एक्सटेंड होनी चाहिए। लेकिन दुर्भाग्य ऐसा है कि हमारे यहाँ अलग अलग कानूनों में वर्कर को अलग अलग ढंग से परिभाषित किया गया और अलग अलग उसमें लाया जा रहा है। तो एक तो हम सब लोग ये प्रयास कर रहे हैं कि वर्कर का मतलब एक होना चाहिए।
Getting the status of workers will entitle the domestic helps to their rights and benefits at the workplaces like fixed working hours and overtime, nature of work, risks associated with the job and adequate compensation, fixed minimum wages.
उम्मीद हम कर रहे हैं कि जो कोडिफिकेशन हो रहा है उस कोडिफिकेशन में इस वर्कर की डिफिनेशन को एक करने का एक प्रयास हो रहा है। अगर वो कोड थ्रो हो जाएगा पार्लियामेंट में तो डोमेस्टिक वर्कर होंगे, आंगनबाड़ी वर्कर, माने वर्कर की डिफिनेशन में आने वाले से सब लोग वो फिर बाद में मिनिमम वेज की भी कवरेज में आ जाएंगे। बाद में ऐसे सभी अधिकार जो वर्कर के नाते मिलते हैं वो उनको मिलेंगे।
पूरे भारत में डोमेस्टिक वर्कर्स के लिए सेंट्रल लेवल पे मिनिमम वेज की कोई पॉलिसी नहीं है, क्योंकि डोमेस्टिक वर्कर को एज ए वर्कर हमारे लेबर एक्ट्स में माना ही नहीं गया है। जब तक आप किसी वर्कर को वर्कर नहीं मानेंगे तो आप उसे बाकी सारे बेनिफिट्स वर्कर से जुड़े हुए कैसे देंगे?
The most important step in the direction of ensuring basic rights and security for domestic help is to categorize them as workers. The government claims to have made several attempts to get them the desired status, but nothing concrete has been done till now to get them their due. With Pranav Goswami signing off for Ground Report. So there's a lot of ambiguity about the definition of the domestic help in India, despite the fact that there are states which have notified the laws. Let's go across to Pranav Goswami, who's done these reports for our channel. Pranav, the million-dollar question is that why can't you, in the Indian scenario, why is a home not treated as a workplace, despite the fact that there are millions of maids who are tending to the household chores?
Yeah, because conventionally homes are considered a private place, and bringing the house environment under the ambit of legal framework is not, it's very challenging. So that's the reason that normally we consider house as a private place, and those who are working in those houses, they are not, their definition is not treated as domestic worker. In fact, they are called servants or maids. And there are many laws. Those laws partially cover the rights as far as the legal rights are concerned for those domestic workers. But there is no such specific law which can ensure the rights of these domestic workers, and they are working under extremely tough condition. They do not have any facilities as far as the medical facilities is concerned, or they are well below, they are paid well below the minimum wages which has been decided by the new law which government had just brought. And now government is planning to bring a specific law, but it will be taking some time. So by that time, it is really very sad that around 4-5 crore domestic workers are in India unofficially, but they are not getting any sort of legal protection.
But my question to you is that if you are thinking of bringing the maids or the domestic helps under the labor laws, then obviously you will have a setup where apparently it's something hypothetical at the moment for a country like India. But are we going to see labor inspectors walking inside the house, checking on the registers, whether they are properly registered, whether they are adhering to the proper number of working hours, whether they are getting the minimum number of wages? Is the government actually looking at that aspect?
See, I spoke to the Labour Minister, Bandaru Dattatreya. He categorically said that we are concerned about these issues. But as far as bringing a law specifically for this class, it will certainly take some time, because government's priority is to bring Anganwadi Karyakartas first under the Minimum Wages Act and other acts also, and after that they'll be taking, like recently we can say that even private security guards, they are also,
I believe they have also been incorporated into the Rashtriya Swasth Bima Yojana.
No, not national level. There is no such schemes, but government had come with one national policy, and they've already made a draft of that national policy specifically for domestic workers. But that draft has not been approved by the cabinet. And Minimum Wages Act, which I just told you, that private security guards, we can say that they are also sort of domestic workers. They have been now considered as semi-skilled and skilled workers. So now they are getting, but yes, there are some states like Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Kerala, and Tamil Nadu. They've started giving some benefits to these workers, but as far as national level is concerned, there is no such provision yet.
What we have seen generally in the urban setups is that there are a lot of young girls who come down from northeastern states like Jharkhand, Odisha. All these states, they have people coming down and working in various houses. And there's a lot of discrimination which happens on the basis of color, on the basis of religion, identity. So there's a lot of discrimination happening on these counts. But when a case is registered or when a complaint is made in a police station, generally it's made into a law and order issue. Why not approach these issues as a right? Why don't you treat these issues as with a right-based approach? Why can't the government not help these people?
Yeah, because again, the domestic workers come in unorganized sector. This sector is unorganized. Though there are millions of domestic workers, but they are unorganized. That is why the comprehensive law for them is required, and it is needed. But they are exploited not only in terms of the working hours, but also physically and sexually also they are harassed. And because they are mostly migrants, or they have been trafficked from the small villages to the cities, they do not know. They are illiterate. So they do not know their rights, because there are some laws under which they can go and they can try to get their rights. But these laws, but because they are illiterate, because they are exploited, and because they are depending on, because they've already left their villages and all, so they want that job, and that's the reason that they have to bear everything which goes against them, and they are not having any legal protection as far as this particular section of domestic workers are concerned.
Thank you, Pranav, for all the updates. Now, remember, there are millions and millions of domestic helps in India, and the government really needs to speed up its process as far as the coverage of the domestic workers under the labour laws is concerned. Time for us to slip into a short break. On the other side, we get you the shameful and horrific incident of a child marriage from Rajasthan. Back in a moment. Welcome back. You're watching Ground Report, and time now for our reporter's diary. We take you to Uttarakhand, where farmers are facing the brunt of a serious monkey menace. It's an unusual battle between the primates and the human beings. Here in Uttarakhand, the farmers have been forced to desert their traditional crops to keep the monkeys at bay. Kriti Mishra gets you this Ground Report.
Prem Singh Rathore stands in the middle of the fields along with his 5-year-old grandson with a stick to shoo away monkeys. Welcome to the Darim Khola village in the hills of Uttarakhand, named after the fruit called darim. However, the village no more grows darim. The reason? Monkey menace in the region. All trees have been chopped off for the fear of monkeys who continue to attack other crops grown in the area. The villagers take up the task of shooing away monkeys in rotation.
फल के पेड़ काट दिए हैं, आलू के पेड़ लगाए, जो आलू भी बंदर जो है नीचे से खोद के खा लेते हैं, और बंदरों की जो है हम दिन भर चौकीदारी करते हैं और खड़े रहते हैं, बहुत परेशान हैं.
The human-wildlife conflict affects the lives of over 70 lakh people in Uttarakhand villages. Wild boar, monkeys, elephants destroy crops across the state every year. There are about 1.5 lakh monkeys wreaking havoc in various cities and towns in the state. Their population is increasing by a whopping 36% every year. In 2015, crop damage due to man-animal conflict was recorded on 307 hectares across the state. The damage was twice that of 2014.
बंदरों से दिक्कत है जी, घर में घुस जाते हैं, खाना खा लेते हैं, खेतों में फसल खा लेते हैं, बहुत परेशान करते हैं, आदमी को खाने पड़ते हैं.
Declining forest cover and the proximity of human habitations to forest areas are the primary reasons behind the growing human-wildlife conflict in Uttarakhand.
We are converting forest land for other purposes like developmental works, making dams, making roads and human populations. So another thing is poaching. Then declining availability of food in the forest. That is one of the main reasons for the human and animal conflict.
The State Forest Department, in collaboration with the Wildlife Institute of India, is planning to administer an oral immunocontraceptive to female monkeys to render them temporarily infertile. However, mitigation techniques are only one part of the solution, the other being an understanding of factors leading to the conflict.
Human-wild conflict is not easy to resolve. Reactive measures like culling serve little purpose because there's a risk of decimation of wildlife. We need to adequately address the underlying problems and the factors that have led to an increase in such conflicts. Reporting from Uttarakhand with camera person Ashwini Kumar, I'm Kriti Mishra for Ground Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
So how to shoo away the monkeys is a big task at the hands of the government and the farmers in Uttarakhand. Moving on now to Rajasthan in our regional window, where the social evil of child marriages continues unabated as a socially accepted ritual. Today in our ground report, we get you a story of a 16-year-old girl who was married at the age of 11 to a much older man. And today she's back at her school thanks to her friends. But remember, not everyone is lucky. Take a look at this report.
16-year-old girl wanted was to study but was sent off to live with her in-laws instead. Today she has got a fresh lease of life, all thanks to her classmates. When the girl, a student of class 10, didn't attend the school, her classmates went to her parents' house to check on her. There they were told that she has been sent to her in-laws' place. Her classmates tracked down her and did not rest till they brought her back to school.
मैं ससुराल चली गई थी, तो फिर मेरे पास फोन था, तो ये लोग मेरे घर जाके मेरे भाई से मेरे नंबर लेके आए, फिर इन्होंने मुझे फोन किया, तो फिर मैंने जगह बताई कि कहाँ मैं हूँ अभी, तो फिर ये गए थे मेरे पास।
बाल विवाह में अगर जब कोई समझता है तो उसका विवाह करने से क्या फायदा, ना तो लोग इतना समझ पाते हैं, तो हमारे अनुसार की पढ़ना चाहिए उसे।
The girl was married in 2012 at a tender age of 11 with a slum dweller Ravi, who is 12 years older than her. For her friends, it was no easy task to get her back, running from police to district collector. Their efforts bore fruit when the girl was brought to the district child welfare committee office. Today she apprises to become an IAS officer.
जी एक लड़की का फोन आया था कुछ दिन पहले। वो लड़की स्कूल में पढ़ती थी, तो उसने ये गुहार लगाई थी कि उसकी एक सहेली है जो स्कूल में ही पढ़ती है और उसकी चाइल्ड मैरिज हुई थी और उसके इन लॉज उसको जबरदस्ती ले गए हैं। वो अपने इन लॉज के जाना नहीं चाहती बल्कि आगे पढ़ना चाहती है। तो मैंने उस वक्त तुरंत ही पुलिस को फोन करके उनके जो इन लॉज का घर है उसका पता करा के उसको फिर अपने इन लॉज के वहां से वापस बुलाया था।
Data from the 2011 census show that over 5 million girls were married before the legal age of 18. The annual health survey of 2012-13 shows that 51.2% of women in Rajasthan aged between 20-25 were married off before the age of 18. Though there has been a dip in the number of child marriage across India in recent years, it's still a long way to go to ensure no child has to go through this trauma. With Bureau Input signing off for Ground Report.
So this story can clearly say that a friend in need is a friend indeed. Continuing with our regional window, we now take you to Uttar Pradesh, where a high-tech village is giving smart cities a run for the money. How they do it, find out in this report.
Smartphones, CCTV cameras, Wi-Fi, clean and hygienic toilets. No, this is not a smart city, but a village in Uttar Pradesh's Siddharth Nagar district, Hasuri Osunpur. Once a backward village, Hasuri Osunpur today proudly holds the title of being the first Indian smart village equipped with GIS or Geographical Information System technology.
गाँव में बहुत बढ़िया सुविधा हुआ है और ये सब सड़क का काम हुआ है, हर एक चीज का मतलब गंदगी वाला एक बैग हट गया। अब तो अच्छा ही लगता है, अब कौन में अब तो दिनों दिन अच्छा लगे।
Situated near the UP-Nepal border, the village boasts of 23 CCTV cameras, 7 Wi-Fi spots and 23 speakers for public addresses. With these public address systems, people can communicate directly with the Sarpanch. The village also has its own website and a GIS map showing its agricultural land, grazing land, residential areas, roads and canals. The website also has data of all the residents of the village. The primary schools in the village are also high-tech.
सपना मेरा बड़ा था कि मैं कोई ऐसा गांव बनाऊं कि जो नजीर बने और यूपी का पहला गांव बने जो गांव में शहर की सुविधाएं रहें, लेकिन गांव शहर जैसा ना हो। गांव के लोगों को हाईटेक तरीके से हम नई-नई सुविधाएं, नई-नई चीजें लाके दें।
The combined efforts of the village administration and the villagers have transformed the face of Hasuri Osunpur. The village is now set to give most smart cities a run for their money. With Bureau Inputs, signing off for Ground Report.
In fact, many states across the country are aiming for digital villages like these under the flagship Digital India program. Time now to wrap this edition of Ground Report. Do not forget to send us your feedback at feedbackgroundreport@gmail.com. If at all you feel you have an issue in your area or in your region which has been left unaddressed, RSTV will be right there for you. Goodbye and thanks for your time.